You're listening to Sister Stargazers, celestial and terrestrial observations and advice from two real-life sisters. Welcome, fellow stargazers. The sisters are in the house. Hello, Jude.
Hello, Sarah.
Are you ready for episode 15?
I am.
It is the week of Sunday, December 19th through Saturday, December 25th, 2021. We've got a lot going on. We've just entered a full moon. The solstice is coming. It's Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day. We've packed it in. Where do you want to start?
Oh, well, we can start with Venus retrograde right on Sunday, the 19th.
Okay.
Venus is all about, of course, the goddess of love. She's also a ruler of finances, festivals, grace, haberdashers, holidays. It's very interesting that Venus is going retrograde on a holiday, like a very significant holiday, right at the week of this very significant Western world holiday. Venus is about keepsakes and lavishness and melodies, melodramas, paintings, painters, picnics. You get the idea. You know, she's reimbursements, refunds. She's also about finances
and abundance.
And abundance. What are our values? What are the things that we enjoy?
Yeah.
So Venus retrograde is going to be asking us to look at, what do we enjoy? Where do we find our joy? How do we express our happiness? It might have to also do with looking at your finances and reconsidering your investments and how they are working or not working for you. And you might have a total shift in terms of what you thought was right and true, and now doesn't look so right and true anymore. There's some really, this is a very significant shift, this retrograde in Venus in Capricorn. Capricorn's all about structure and very organized, and it loves to have a plan, and it's disciplined, and it's looks at the time, it has things scheduled. And Venus is like, that's not really Venus's domain. Right. In true, Venus fashion. But if she has to be in Capricorn, and she is going to be in Capricorn through like the end of January, so she's going to be there for a while.
Right.
So it's basically saying, get some things in order. Look at your finances, look at your wealth, look at your relationships.
Okay.
Look at your level of happiness. Look at the things around you. Are you happy with the way your home is decorated? Are you happy with the clothes you're wearing? It's also on that personal level. You can look around and go, well, geez, I've had these drapes in this house for like 10 years. Maybe it's time to get some shades instead. I don't know. It can be that mundane, right, but it can also be a real call to redo, reorganize, reassess your aesthetic.
Yes.
And the way you relate in the world, how you show up, in other words.
Okay.
And as she's been hovering around Pluto, so she met up with Pluto on the 11th, only got a degree past Pluto, and now is starting to retrograde.
And we're going to feel it in some different ways.
Yeah, it's going to show up. Pluto is, it's not just the Lord of the underworld.
Yeah.
He has been really responsible for shaping a lot of the ways we use power. When you think about the year that Pluto was discovered, was the year we started experimenting with like the atomic energy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Pluto holds many of the secrets of the universe, things that we have not understood and are still trying to understand, including the quantum field.
Right.
We don't know anything about that. Really?
Really?
We really don't know how it really works.
Yes. Yes.
So that's I consider that is one of the realms of Pluto, as well as traditionally the underworld. So Pluto, renewal, raising, rebirth, punk, purgatory, procreation, pornography, poisonous plants, passion, organization, idealistic organizations that attack social ills. That's a realm of Pluto, because they're working to try to uncover, to change, to transform something that's been institutionalized. Pluto is also responsible for mires and mystery, mustard gas, also landslides, laser beams, lawlessness. machismo. I'm reading from
That's right. From one of our favorite resources.
Rex E. Bill's book of rulership, the rulership book.
Yeah.
Okay, nuclear physicists are ruled by Pluto. This is like an index of all the words affiliated with Pluto.
Right.
He's in charge of fermentation, of gonads, of genitals, these places, parts of our bodies,
Yeah.
the parts that we don't understand.
Yeah. Really. that are covered up, that we don't often just have out to the world all the time.
Yeah. And also like shame is part of his realm.
Yeah.
Like these weird emotions, resentment, shame, guilt, like these emotions that are meant to control.
Yeah.
Fear. Pluto is big on that.
You have him conjunct Venus, which is these really high value kinds of concepts and ideas and wealth, beauty, aesthetics, art, poetry. I don't know if you can get much more opposite than Venus and Pluto.
Well, I was just going to say, like the duality of the sexes.
Yeah.
The yin exists within the yang, right? But Pluto is very like machismo. It's like he's like toxic masculine. And Venus, she could also be toxic feminine.
Right.
There is that shade of Venus.
Yeah.
So there is that dichotomy going on right now.
We've been feeling it approach. It kind of hit exact on the 11th of December. And now she's gone just a degree past him, past Pluto, but she's coming back. And we're going to feel it through this week, and then it's going to get exact again on Christmas Day, the 25th.
It's an ongoing process. I don't want to give the sense that it's something that's over and done, because she will meet up with Pluto again, on her way back forward, coming back through. But she brings some other folks with her this time.
Right.
And that's in the future. But just in terms of the archetypes and in terms of the things,
right.
The general sense of what you should be looking for. That's why I was pulling out Rex Reed's book, the rulership book.
Yes.
I mean, it can be as literal as old flames showing up, old girlfriends, old boyfriends, old exes.
Yes.
People from the past that you've had, a relationship with, they kind of suddenly appear. There's unfinished business. It can also, though, it can be like a point for you to really see how far you've come.
Yes.
Like if someone does come back, if you do cross paths with someone from your past, then this is a point where you can really see how detached, how removed, how little is there, how far you've come from letting that person hurt you.
Yeah.
So you can really, with Venus meeting up with Pluto, you can step back. You can really take your power back or understand how much power you really do own and how much you've recovered.
Yes. Well, that's funny. I pulled a card today, and it's one of Louise Hay Power Thought cards. And the primary mantra thought is, my healing is already in process. But then the longer affirmation on the back says, my willingness to forgive begins my healing process. I allow the love from my own heart to wash through me, cleansing and healing every part of my body. I know I am worth healing. I feel like that resonates a little bit in sort of recognizing, one, how far you've come, or one, the steps to take to heal. If something is brought up that activates a wound, that you have the power with Venus to move the process forward. Take the higher ground of forgiveness, compassion to move through your own healing. You don't have to take care of anybody but yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's really beautiful, Sarah. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, the other major aspect it's not, is it an aspect? But the solstice, one of my favorite times of year.
Yeah, it's a huge turning point in the year. I mean, so this really is a momentous week in terms of shifts. If you create some time for yourself, and we were talking about this, like, just to have some time to just process, like just let some of these thoughts and your inner guides, let them speak to you, because this is a very big turning point of the year. And the sun stands still on the 19th or the 20th.
21st, the 21st.
It stands still for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So traditionally, these dates in this Christian calendar were chosen for specific reasons. The sun, S-U-N, and the sun, S-O-N, are linked, in this particular holiday because the sun, S-U-N, starts moving back. So every day the sun moves a little bit further south, moves a little bit further south, a little bit further south.
It's traveled along, it's hit its southernmost point on the horizon, and then what happens? A shift, a tilt happens?
And then it gets to this point in the year on the solstice where it stops, it stays still, and it stays still on that spot in the sky or on the horizon for 4 or 5 days. And on the 24th, 25th, it starts to move back, going north.
So is that, as you were saying, the S-U-N is beginning to move back, and this idea of Christmas Day, the S-O-N, the arrival of the sun, S-O-N.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
nothing coincidental in the universe.
No, I mean, all the great cathedrals were built on top of, I hope this isn't a surprise to anyone, but
give them the truth, Jude. Yeah.
I mean, the great cathedrals were built on top of sacred springs of the goddess, for crying out loud. If you go, if you visit Europe, or even if you just do some cursory research, the point of the holy well was in the subterranean crypts of the churches, of the medieval cathedrals, were built around and above it.
Yes, I think this just speaks to the intersection of faiths, values, belief systems. That's all. I think we're not proponents of one over another, just to say there are intersections where there's more in common than there is apart when it comes to looking at natural, universal, cosmic phenomenon and why certain dates and certain calendars are chosen as festival dates.
Right.
Well, that's happening this week.
The Romans had Saturnalia.
Yes.
So they had those 7 to 10 days at the end of the year where people just went wild. They reversed roles. So the solstice. Oh, we want to do a separate solstice program.
Yes, we do want to do a separate solstice program. More on that anon, maybe a YouTube live stream or Facebook live stream. But we can just do a whole deep dive on the solstice. But that is happening the 21st, 12/21, 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you just want to take a minute and sort of recognize, like, hey, the sun is going to be still for a couple days while we invite its return. And we've talked a lot about some tools and tips. It's still a prime opportunity to light a fire and burn some stuff. But hey, just blast the Beatles. I don't know if there's a better song for the winter solstice than Here Comes the Sun. So
that's awesome. Yes, that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing out loud.
Yes.
That works. Yeah. Calling back the sun.
Calling back the sun. Well, are there any other aspects for this week of the 19th through the 25th?
Oh dear, I could go on. I mean, we have another aspect. Okay, well, you did talk about on Christmas Day, the Venus conjunct Pluto, right?
Yeah.
We talked enough about that. But
that's enough. Yep.
Friday on the 24th, this is like Christmas Eve, we have Saturn Square Uranus.
Again.
Yes, it's the third and final pass. So even though these big heavyweights have been out there in the sky, kind of squaring it off, going back and forth, coming out and sparring, this is the last exact meetup, although it will be continuing to be influential, this particular aspect, into the new year, just about, 3/4 of the way through. They'll still be slow moving forward and backward, but they won't be exact.
And this is that tension. The tension of Saturn Uranus is the freedom versus control, authority versus independence, that struggle that we were around Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah. And for everybody, it's going to be different. For some people, it might be their health. It might be their job. It might be their family. It might be pets. It might be where they're living. It might be their parents. This is like, how do you reconcile this aspect of control and authority with just realizing that your sovereignty, what you think, what's right for you is at odds with the collective. And it's so challenging.
So there it is. That's just the holiday week. We don't even get to the new year yet. So we invite everybody to just, again, take those times, those moments when you can ground yourself, connect to your heart, stay true to thine own self, because it's going to be a little wackadoodle.
Yeah, Heart Math has a great...
Oh, yes, Heart Math. Let's mention Heart Math.
Heart Math has a really great exercise where you put your hands on your heart, or one hand or both hands, and you imagine when breathing, you're just taking in a deep breath, exhaling, inhaling. And when you really start to notice your breath, then bring your awareness of your breathing to your heart. So you're breathing in and out of your heart, not just your lungs, but your heart and your heart's right there between your lungs.
Right.
Just kind of synchronize, let them resonate. And that really helps also. And if you can do it with your feet barefoot on the ground, that's even better.
Yes. Okay. Good tip for this week. Well, we wish everyone a happy solstice, and please do connect with us at connect@sisterstargazers.com. And since we've said it, we probably should just do it. We'll give some more information about how we might do a live something to go deep dive into the solstice on the 21st. That would be fun. 12/21/21.
I would be up for that.
Yeah, why not?
We could do some screen shares and show some charts and graphs. And
yes, people can compare how much like sisters we actually look like. Well, there's always so much.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Jude. We hope this information proves helpful, and just
thank you, Sarah.
We've got lots of places you can find us now. We're on Spotify, Sister Stargazers at Spotify. We have a YouTube channel.
We're on Amazon.
You're just going to keep getting more of the Sister Stargazers. So please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends.
That would be awesome.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Happy solstice.
Happy solstice.
Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Sister Stargazers. Let us know what worked for you this week. Find us on Facebook and post a comment at Sister Stargazers.